I've never done a who did it better video before, and to be honest, it's just never even occurred to me to do this. And the only reason why I am doing it is because it was that or just not. Is that dramatic? I was gonna say it's either a who did it better or just don't post the video at all, because I almost didn't post the video at all. I had a lot of challenges with this recipe, even though it's supposed to be super easy. And to be honest, part of it really is easy. Very simple, straightforward directions. Just like my execution, maybe not so good. Part of this video is something I created myself. Part of this video is something that many people have done many times, including myself. And part of the video is something that I saw someone do on TikTok, and I thought it looked amazing, so I wanted to do it also. And I'm being kind of cryptic and vague and indirect in my explanation. I probably should have just skipped the explanation part altogether, but I didn't, because that's not my style. But the thing is, I don't want to give away the answer right away. I'll explain it along the way, and it will unfold, and the mystery will be revealed at the end. The first thing that I do is put a piece of kombu seaweed into a pot of water, bring it to a boil, and then let it simmer while I prep my vegetable puree. For the vegetable puree, I am just cutting up some cauliflower and some carrots, and I will steam them until they're nice and tender, and they will go into a NutriBullet or a blender. While those vegetables are steaming though, I will also saute some shallots and some garlic in a little bit of olive oil, which I will also add to the blender, along with a few red chili flakes and some dried ginger, as well as some grated baby fresh ginger. And what else did I put in here? Some salt and pepper, and just a tiny bit of miso paste for a bit of umami. And once it was well blended, I set that aside, because that is the vegetable puree that we're going to place the scallops on. The next thing that I did is take some King Oyster Mushrooms and chop the tops off and set those aside for a different recipe. And I cut the mushroom stems into circles, discs, rounds, pretend scallops, vegan scallops. And then I scored each one of them with a paring knife just to get that crisscross pattern on it when I saute it afterwards. Then I added those mushroom pieces to the simmering broth that I was making out of the seaweed, and I just let them simmer for about 15 minutes, and then I set those aside. This next part is the part that I saw on a TikTok video. Maybe a bunch of you saw it already. Maybe you have mastered this, and if you have, please tell me how in the comments below. So in the video, basically you just take a piece of rice paper wrap and you moisten it until it's soft, and you put a bunch of Enoki mushroom in the middle, about the same size, say, as you did with the King Oyster mushroom, or the size of a scallop. And then you wrap the mushroom inside of that rice paper wrap as tightly as you can. And you slice it. That seems pretty straightforward right there, right? Look how easy that was. I tried a few different shapes because mushrooms do tend to shrink when you cook them quite a bit, but I wasn't sure because of the rice paper wrap if that would still happen. So I sliced some of the pieces thinner than others. And like the King Oyster mushrooms, I just put any leftover scraps of mushroom aside so that I could use it in a recipe later. The next step is to take those enoki slices and just dip each end in some cornstarch, which was easy enough to do. Mostly, but not really, because I actually got way too much cornstarch on a lot of them. I tried to dust some of it off before sauteing it, but I wasn't entirely successful, and you'll see that in a minute. I can't believe I'm showing you this. My girlfriend said that she likes to watch videos where people actually fail or the recipe doesn't turn out in the end, and I don't know why she enjoys that. I guess, well, she did say that it just makes her feel like the person who's doing it is being honest and genuine. So here you are. Here's some honesty. Here is a video of me struggling to properly make Enoki mushroom scallops. This is the part of the recipe that I got pretty stuck on, I guess. I sauteed some fresh sage from the garden in some vegan butter and a bit of olive oil, and then I also added to the sage butter some fresh garlic. You can totally omit this step if you don't want to have a garlicky taste on your scallops, or if you just don't like it or you don't digest it well. But I love garlic, so I am adding garlic. Once the garlic was tender and the sage leaves were starting to get nice and crispy, I just scooched them aside in the pan to make room for the mushrooms, and I put my King Oyster mushrooms in the pan. And then I added my Enoki mushroom slices also to the pan. I should not have done that. I don't think they cook at the same rate as each other, so I really struggled with the heat. I adjusted it and tried different heats, and what happened for me, the problematic thing, I'll tell you while you watch my pan burn, is that the Enoki mushrooms soaked up a lot of the oil, I found, whereas the King Oyster mushrooms did not. And even though they were slightly overcooked, waiting for the Enoki slices to catch up, the King Oyster mushrooms were delicious, as always. So as far as I'm concerned, the King Oyster mushroom definitely did it better. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I am so grateful, so very grateful that you did that. I'm so grateful to be part of this community with you. And if you are a Patreon subscriber, I say it every single time, but I cannot thank you enough for believing in what I'm doing, enough to want to be a part of it and to help make this channel possible. So thank you. Even though the words thank you don't even begin to cover it. And if you are somebody who would like to work one-on-one with me for naturopathy or nutrition, you can book me virtually or live here in Montreal by following the booking link in the description below. I'll be back next week, and in the meantime, take really good care of yourselves. Bye.